What's up, YouTube? Richard here with Alien Bros. So this video is kind of difficult to make a little bit because this may be this channel's last video. The reason why is because I have said before that I know that I enjoy this topic and I would post videos regardless of whether or not anybody seeing them. And I want that to be true, but I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. It takes a lot of my time and effort to really make the videos for this channel. And the YouTube algorithm has essentially made it pointless, if I'm being quite honest. In fact, it's more than pointless. When I first came back to posting again, the channel was actually doing decent for the direction it was going in. Our views were going up, not down, even though they weren't great, and they were nowhere near what they used to be. I mean, they used to be averaging like 10 to 20k views a video for quite a while. And to be quite honest with you guys, the reason I stopped posting back then was because life came up and I got a new job. I was working like 80 hours a week, and there was just no possible way that I was going to be able to continue to make those types of videos and still make content on this platform. I tried to do it some when I had the time to put aside towards it, because those videos took upwards of a week sometimes to make, minimum like 3-4 days, and I'm talking like me staying awake, going through like an absurd amount of caffeine, forcing myself to basically survive on like 2 hours of sleep, smelling like complete shit in my room in the dark, just editing and nonstop going over this stuff, going over the news, having alerts set on my phone, and just all of the overall amount of work it took was just like ridiculous. And I was getting paid like nothing, because this was not that far off after the adpocalypse had taken place with PewDiePie. And by the way, screw Sean Kirkpatrick and the Wall Street Journal for that recent article, especially you, Wall Street Journal. You are basically a large part of why I stopped posting back around 2017, 2018, because of the apocalypse. My revenue on those videos was abhorrently bad. Like, some of those videos with over 20k views, I made like $50. If I got lucky on one, I made like $100. Like, and that was on like my most viewed video. And that was despite this channel getting amazing watch time. I tried to include ads. Obviously, YouTube pick and chose where it wanted to show those. And the only reason I included ads is because of the amount of effort and time that I was putting into these videos. And I really had no other way to get my money back or my time back for what I was doing. And I was mostly doing this as a passion project at that point. Because let's be real. I mean, I'm working for 4 days for $100. Like, if that's if I'm lucky. That's not even like minimum wage, dude. I was lucky to make like $300 a month, even though my channel was being referenced by larger channels with a couple million subscribers alongside Secure Team's channel and other larger creators. And I know hardly anybody is probably even going to see this video to begin with, because my channel's algorithm has been completely and utterly destroyed. And we're going to get to that in a second as to why that took place. But the overarching consensus I had back then was like, bro, I can't sustainably do this. I mean, if I could get it to where I had, you know, a massive subscriber base and maybe I was getting the views that Tyler was getting, then yeah, maybe it would make sense. But, you know, it doesn't make sense for me to continue, at least back then, to make these videos when I could make $2,000 a week working at this new job I got. So it's like, I'm not gonna, waste all my time on something like this. As much as I loved you guys and I really didn't want to stop posting. So when I say that, like, I was doing this out of, like, the love of the game, basically, it's honest. That's why I was doing it. I've been obsessed with this topic since I was a child. Since I was, like, 10 years old. It's when I picked up my first book on UFOs when I was in, like, 5th grade. And that was, to be quite honest with you, pretty much where my entire obsession with all of this started. I don't remember what the book was called, but I still remember what the cover looked like. It was a black and yellow book with a UFO on it. I picked it up and I read it, and there were some absurd-ass theories that I still remember to this day, but being I was like 10, you know, it stuck with me, you know, because, and also the, you know, you guys know those Discovery Channel documentaries that you see on UFOs and stuff that if you look up in History Channel, where if you look up UFOs now on the YouTube search engine, that's basically all you find, even if you specifically word things to look for them. Now, I'm going to try and explain why even today it doesn't make sense to bother, no matter how badly I wanted this channel to succeed. And I'm not saying this purely out of why or anything. I am working on something entirely different with YouTube. I'm not going to bring it up on this channel. I'm not going to try to cross-promote because you guys would have no interest in the other channel whatsoever, so I'm not going to bother. But what I will do is I will tell you guys right now that when I first came back last year, this channel was getting maybe like 4,000 or 5,000 impressions on a video, and it was picking up steam. It was going in the right direction and actually getting views. But when I got sick for like 3 weeks or 3 weeks, something like that, I had lost my voice entirely and I couldn't record a video. I come back, and this was right after the New Jersey drones thing happened. I come back and I start posting again, and suddenly my momentum I had and the impressions I was getting dropped off a cliff. And it wasn't like natural at all. Like, this was like I posted several videos and essentially all of them did nothing. They basically sat there and gotten no impressions whatsoever from anybody. Like, the algorithm was refusing to share them, no matter how good the watch time was amongst my subscribers and maybe the couple of people that did come across them somehow. Overall, I was beating my head off the wall trying to figure out what changed and why all of a sudden I couldn't get my videos in front of anybody. And even for at the time where it was only getting, a couple hundred views a video, that was still better than what I'm getting now. And compared to what I was getting years ago, obviously it's terrible, but it still, to me, felt like I was going in the right direction and that things were picking up. Basically, to summarize why I stopped the first time, other than just my job, when I came back to try to post on YouTube, I had noticed a very similar issue. Because when I had stopped posting, I came back again. I managed to get some videos to do the same thing as before. This is about 2019, where they started picking up and doing pretty well again. And then I basically got hit in the face again with a very similar issue, where I had a lot of other things going on that I simply couldn't allocate time to YouTube to at the time. And it essentially shot me in the foot in regards to being able to make content on this channel. There was a slew of articles, 2019 to 2020, like towards the end into 2020, that were written by places like the New York Times and other basically MSM news sources, which I'm going to be honest, I can't stand the mainstream media, but that's an entirely different discussion. They wrote articles essentially saying that YouTube has a conspiracy problem, and I've mentioned this on the community tabs. I don't think people quite understand what these articles did to this topic on YouTube and how much it altered the course of what could be vocalized on this platform in regards to stuff like UFOs and things that you could debate whether or not they're even really conspiracy content at this point. The thing is that the YouTube algorithm essentially decided that UFOs were conspiracy content and would be grouped in with the likes of like flat earthers and all of the Nazi conspiracy theorist type stuff and all that sort of thing. That was the target of these articles. Anything conspiracy related. And UFO channels just got caught up in it. And I've seen some people that I used to make content with back in the day, I'm not going to name names, that on and off do okay here and there with their videos, but considering their subscriber count and how long that they've been posting to this platform, it doesn't really make sense that they're not bigger than they actually are. Some of them post really decent content. They're well known. Some of them just post clips of UFOs and stuff, whatever. But it doesn't make much sense that they randomly get videos that are super successful for some reason, and then other videos are just not good at all. And lately, it seems like they're not even getting those sporadically good videos. It seems like, for the most part, anybody who's not a big known name in the UFO field at this point, already, with, like I said, money backing them up, is not getting anywhere with the subject. And this channel specifically has been dealing with that quite badly, because my analytics overall for the videos I've posted are actually extremely good. There's nothing really that should indicate that the algorithm would demote my channel. However, when I go to look at the overall impressions of how many people have actually seen the new videos, it's almost, it's either less than a couple hundred and sometimes worse than that. Sometimes it's like really pathetic, if I'm being quite honest with you. And the only thing I've gotten out of this information-wise is that I don't know if it's so much just the fact that this channel is old now and that the overall bulk of my subscribers maybe just don't want to watch the content or click the video, or maybe they're just not even live accounts, or if it's just YouTube now no longer liking the content that's being posted, regardless of how people have interacted with it, which is entirely possible. Maybe it's all on me and I'm totally wrong, but from what I've seen, the overall numbers that I get, retention and all of that stuff and overall interaction, is actually better than it ever was. And I think that could be argued that it's due to the smaller amount of people watching, maybe, but it definitely isn't worse. And then when you compare it to other channels I've seen show their like retention graphs and stuff, I'm gonna be completely honest, mine's better. For pretty much all of my videos. I have yet to post a video where I get a retention that's like under 25%, like minimum. And that's on like a bad video for the most part. Like, we're talking like my videos generally amount to around 30% plus AVD, or average view duration. And when I do get my videos in the algorithm, we generally get positive interaction, we gain subscribers and stuff. I really appreciate all of the positive interaction that have come from the people that I've watched. But that's just the thing, is that it seems as though YouTube either has implemented AI to the point that it can't understand what my videos are about, or about this channel. I'm thinking it just doesn't. Either it understands and it doesn't want to share that type of content, because I know that there is a viewer base for UFO-based content. There has been one. It's not going to just magically disappear. It's still in the media to a degree, and let's be real, if Security can come back and basically retain the same viewership, then clearly there is still an audience. And same with these other channels. Clearly they have audiences for this as well. The only thing that I could think of is that because this channel doesn't have a massive amount of people backing it or a ton of money behind it, the algorithm is basically not going to pick it up at this point. And I've kind of accepted that, which is why I'm moving on to a totally different channel. And it's just too far off from this one to be reasonable to share here. But as far as this channel goes, I don't know. If I get like the urge to want to try to post here, like if something really big pops up and I want to talk to you guys about it, then maybe I will. Lately, I've been really unimpressed with what I've seen in the UFO community. In fact, I've been quite frankly disgusted by it, if I'm being honest with you. For one, there's that orb that's been heavily debated as to whether or not that's authentic. The one that was found in, I think, Colombia or something. I don't know about that. Maybe if somebody comes out with some actual proof that that thing is legit, then I'll eat my words. But I think that that is just a big grift, if I'm being honest. I think it's just somebody made up a story and used AI and tried to get themselves some money, or they just are a really good video editor or whatever. They're trying to get some money out of it. That's what I feel like. This company that supposedly has this orb sells nonsense UFO hunting technology. I just think it's honestly a load of crap. And until I see something that proves otherwise, I'm gonna stick with that idea. Then there was Lou Elizondo. Oh boy. Lou Elizondo and his water irrigation system that he showed to members of Congress. I'm sure you've all heard that by now. That was disappointing. Now this article with Sean Kirkpatrick has come out, and I will be honest, I don't believe a damn thing that's in the article, but I can definitely tell you what I do believe is that it's going to completely and utterly devastate any reasonable discourse we could have had on this topic in the eyes of main type outlets like YouTube and the mainstream media and everything else in general. We are not going to be taken seriously after this. Even though he is a proven liar. He lied about Skinwalker Ranch, and there's a lot of other things he's lied about. This is Mr. Everything I see is a balloon. He's literally the government McWest, which, to be quite honest at this point, it's hard for me to look at a lot of what's out there now after AI has become popular, and I'm talking about UFO footage, and not almost take a McWest-like standpoint anymore. Because when I look at UFO footage that's out there now, so much of it could just be fake, or just has the hallmarks of AI or editing. And I've done this for a long time. I've watched a lot of UFO footage. I have a pretty good idea of what fake UFO footage looks like. And a lot of this is either easily explainable or just completely nonsensical. And it's always been that way, but it's so much worse now. It's so hard for me to actually find footage to post to this channel to even share with you guys. Because it's been diluted by garbage, man. It's like so many people are out here just posting fake stuff for money. Not enough people actually give a crap, dude. They don't care if they're posting real, legitimate footage or not, because they get paid at the end of the day either way. And I refuse to give up my morals and my sense of dignity to go down that path. And I'm just not going to. If something changes, like I said, and I feel, as though there's a point to this again, maybe I'll post some more content. I was working on a video about, cattle mutilations and human mutilations, and I made the thumbnail. I went through, I did a bunch of research. I compiled a Google Doc. I set up a whole lot of stuff for this. And then I just decided I didn't feel like it was worth posting. Because the other videos I've made have done next to nothing. And when I put a bunch of work into a video and I try to even come close to competing with these guys at the top who have these massive budgets and abilities to produce high quality productions, it doesn't do anything. It's a waste of time. I could post a video with like no editing in it and no work whatsoever, like no scripting, no editing, just slap it out there and it'd be total, honestly, just a complete dog shit video. And it'll do in many cases better than a well thought out, well done video. And I've tried to get the honest opinions of people that I can get to watch the content and tell me what they actually think. A lot of people have told me that it's good. I mean, as far as I know, I watch it back and I don't know, it's hard for me to look at the content objectively and say whether it's good or not when the content basically flopped. At that point, it looks like a failure in my eyes, and it looks like I wasted several days of my life on creating something that doesn't need to be, I guess, created in the first place, because it was never going to do anything, and I just, am wasting my hours away on something stupid that nobody cares about. So that's, sorry, I don't know if you guys can hear that, but there's a train going by, so I apologize. But the, overall thing here, guys, I just don't want to keep doing this. It just doesn't feel worth it. And I think that, as much as I hate to say this, I know a lot of you won't even see this, and I've lost a few subscribers even just over the past couple of months of not posting here. Not to mention I've been dealing with some health issues overall that haven't really helped the matter. But I don't want to bitch and complain and whine over it. I'm just going to be honest and just outright say I don't think this channel will continue, if I'm being honest. This video would have to do like extremely well for me to even want to consider at this point doing anything else, and even that I don't know, because just because this video does well doesn't mean that the channel is going to do well overall, because this video is literally a completely different type of video compared to the stuff we usually make. And I do like being able to bring your guys' thoughts into the content that's being shared and have you guys give your thoughts and explanations on what we could be looking at on content that I think may have a chance of either being authentic UFO footage or might be, you know, sometimes I'll just share stuff that I genuinely don't believe in, but just share it because a lot of people are talking about it and let you guys have your cracks at it. I enjoy that because I enjoy the discourse, but yeah, this is probably the end of this. Also, sorry for if I sound weird at all in this video. I have some weird crap going on with my left ear right now. I don't know what it is. I got like a pain going on right here, and it feels like my ear is fluid in it or something. It's really bothering me. It's been bothering me the past couple days. Anyway, that's it. We'll see. We'll see what happens in the future. I'm not gonna get my hopes up, but maybe something changes and I decide to give it another shot with this channel, but I just don't know if it's coming. It's been a good run, and I'm glad that I got to share the time I did with you guys. Anyway, peace.